Hello there. I have continued working on my Ruby Amethyst Aggro deck, and I have a list that is very close to what I've been playing for a while now and having a ton of success with on Pixelborn. So I figured I would run through the changes I've made and, yeah, then play some games. I think my last list was playing 4 Pinocchios and Scars instead of Be Prepareds. So what I've tried to do with this list is minimize the number of non-versatile cards that are bad in some matchups. So cards like Pinocchio are really, really strong in some matchups and really, really bad in others. Plus, more of the Ruby Amethyst control decks are now playing Teeth and Ambitions, and this is just a target for Teeth and Ambitions in a deck that otherwise doesn't have so many amazing targets for it. So I'm playing one copy, primarily because there just aren't that many 2-drops in the deck, only 4 Snake Mims, 4 LeFous, and having a 9th 2-drop was something I was interested in. I just didn't want to max out on Pinocchio, even though that may look a little bit weird. And I'm down to 3 Arthurs. Arthur is bad in multiples, and I had too many games where I was drawing 2 Arthurs, and I just hated it, so I cut 1 Arthur, and I'm up to 6 of the 1/3 1-drops, mostly to pair with the now 4 copies of Teeth and Ambitions. And I'm now playing Be Prepared again instead of Scar, and although Scar is a little bit more versatile than Be Prepared and is much better when you just need to quest, because obviously Be Prepared can never quest. Be Prepared is just so much better against the Steelsong deck that I have felt the need to go back to it, especially since the reason I was playing Scar or any of these 7-drops in the first place is because of the Steelsong deck. Scar is good against Steelsong, it's just not nearly as good as Be Prepared, and if that's why I'm playing it, I feel like I should play the Be Prepared. So yeah, I mean that's the list. Otherwise, it's a pretty typical Amethyst bounce deck that has a relatively low curve, right? I'm playing cards like Pascal and the 4 copies of Minnie Mouse and Arthur and LeFou instead of late game cards like 6-drop Lady Tremaine, like Yzma, like 9-drop Maleficent. And yeah, I think it's really, really good in the mirror. And that's the deck, or at least the deck update. Hey there, everybody. Over the last week or so, my Ruby Amethyst Aggro deck has become by far my most played deck so far this season on Pixelborn. And you can probably imagine why. I've had some pretty impressive success with it. And I actually want to show the matchup stats for this deck. And it's kind of crazy. Like, looking at this, it feels like my only losing matchups are these two, which are the Steel Amber Steelsong decks and the purple gray, so the Amethyst Steel control deck. And I actually don't think that, this is only a 5-game sample size. I don't actually think this matchup's that bad. It's probably pretty close to 50-50, and I would imagine in the long run I would get it over 50%. But yeah, I think that it crushes a huge number of the most popular decks right now. I mean, look at my Ruby Amethyst mirror percentage, 18-2. That's pretty good. And my Pawpsicle matchup percentage, 11-1. Very, very impressive. So yeah, I think this deck is really, really good right now. And if I had to play a major tournament this weekend, this is what I would be playing. So yeah, I'm going to jump in, play some more games for you, and see how it goes. Okay, here we are on the play against what must be a pretty good opponent. So you don't want Spellbook in your opening hand. I really like having Mini and Teeth and Ambitions, so I'm going to keep Pascal in case I don't get another turn 2 play, but I am going to try to find a turn 2 play in case this Teeth and Ambitions isn't good. And okay, we don't get an actual 2-drop, but we have the option of playing 2 1-drops on turn 2. Okay, so as far as ink, I'm up against No I'm Not. I'm going to use a little bit of knowledge I have and assume that he is playing a control deck and that this Teeth and Ambitions is not going to be good. And we'll start with a Pascal. Alright, Olaf. So my opponent could have their own teeth and ambitions for my Pascal, but that is fine. I think what I want to do is ink this Friends, play 2 1-drops. Now if they want teeth and ambitions by Pascal, they won't be able to do anything with their Olaf until they bounce it. And then the next turn I'll either play Maleficent or I'll just put the spellbook in play. Okay. It's unfortunate not to have any inkables. This draw has definitely gotten a little bit awkward here. But let's see if we can navigate what started as a great draw and has become not the best draw. Okay, it looks like a Fox Mim, which is not great for me. Taking out one of my characters. Yep. Need an inkable here. Got one. Have some options. So I could play Quest up to 6, play Fox Mim, trade, and then ink Olaf and use Spellbook. I kind of like that. The other option being just ink Mim, play Merlin, but I think I want to get this Olaf in my Inkwell. So now the question is, do I trade with their Fox Mim? And I think the answer to that is no. I definitely feel like I'm the aggro deck here, and I am happy to try to get a quest off with this. Surfer Mini is pretty awkward. That's okay. I'm going to lead on drawing a card. All right. Ink this. Definitely doing that. And I think I'm going to quest with my Fox Mim as well. They could Maui it, but that's fine. Maui's going to be pretty good against this anyway. I want to hold off on this Pascal because obviously Mini can eat it. And I might be able to get an extra quest out of it using LeFou. But at this point, we're kind of committed to being the aggro deck here. Trying to win the game before the opponent catches up in lore. Okay. We might actually be able to outcard them now, too, with the draw of that Mim. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by questing with Merlin. Then I'm going to bounce my Merlin, just to see what we get. Maleficent. That's a pretty good one. Just because it's ink, mostly. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to quest with Pascal. Then I'm going to untap my Pascal, use my spellbook, and pass. Again, I just want to eke as much lore out. I don't really want to trade. I'm clearly the aggro deck here. Yeah, you can have my LeFou. If I draw an inkable, I may be playing Be Prepared here. They're now ahead on board. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is quest up to 14 and Be Prepared now that it's favorable for me. And they very well could have Be Prepareds in their hand. They're pretty much dead at this point. That's a good one. All right, let's see what we draw. Okay, I like that. I think I'm just gonna play this Mini and activate Spellbook. Again, we're just looking to push 5 more lore here. This Mini is nice protection against a Lady Tremaine. I'm guessing they must have like a Be Prepared in their hand. All right, and we get the win. That was a good one. All right, here playing another game with Ruby Amethyst Aggro. We get to go first this time. No one drop, but we may still find one. I have LeFou, so I'm probably going to keep Arthur. I'll ship everything except for those three, looking for a one drop, hopefully. Okay, we find one. Not quite the one I wanted. And for that reason, I'm going to ink the first Teeth and Ambitions for sure. Pawpsicle. Yeah, alright. It's good to get a match in against Pawpsicles. Second LeFou. I could have considered keeping one. If they have Teeth and Ambitions, it can take out LeFou. But that's alright. We're going to be looking to put a clock on as fast as possible. I think I would like to get Mini in play first, just because it doesn't slow me down as much. You know, this quest for 2 every turn, this quest for 3, but I do have to keep replaying this LeFou. Tremaine is certainly a little bit annoying. I don't really want to trade my LeFou for it. So maybe we'll just... tricky. I think what I'm going to do is this. Takes the Tremaine off the board, prevents the shift, protects my LeFou. Pretty aggressive, but it's okay. We have a way to gas up, and we have a lot of pressure on, which is what you need against the Pawpsicle deck. Hopefully they don't have a Fishbone. Okay, interesting. That means they must have Big Aladdin in there somewhere, which I'm kind of afraid of, honestly. I want to draw cards so I have an inkable. Okay. This I kind of like. So let's do this. Then bounce a LeFou so they can't trade with it. And then I will, I think, ink one LeFou. Play another one. Now if they quest and we draw an inkable, we have the option of Mauiing down this Aladdin. They still haven't ramped at all, which is good for us. Obviously Flaversham is a good card, but that's alright. I am surprised to see them make that play. Okay. I think I want to get my Arthur going. So I'm going to start like this. They could have Maui, which would be annoying for sure. I want to keep my Maui, I think. I'm going to hold off on questing with LeFou for 1 turn, just to protect it from Maui. Obviously, Hiram can trade here. Maui could eat this if they wanted. But I think if Maui hits my LeFou, it's pretty awkward, because it leaves my Arthur open. Now we'd like to get some card draw, like a Merlin, Rabbit would be really good here. Shield. Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of cards, so we're gonna have to aggro them out before they can be prepared, I think. No doubt about that. We're on the way to it, though. Well, spoke too soon. They can now do it next turn. A little bit awkward. I think let's do this and bounce. I think what I'm going to do is bounce Madam Mim, play this Mim, bounce Arthur, then play this Mim, bouncing LeFou. So I have the Arthur LeFou combo to rebuild in the event that they do have Be Prepared this turn. And if not, this is still plenty of pressure, I think. Okay, they don't have it. I guess the Teeth and Ambitions would be pretty good here, too. That's okay. We still got decent pressure. Mm-hmm. So we're at 17. Yeah, I think they're going to have to be prepared. I think I'm happy to just do this and pass. Trying to save resources for the inevitable sweeper here. Because if they don't have it, these evasives will take them out. All right, and there's the Be Prepared, but like I said, at least we did a pretty good job of playing around it here. I want to put 2 characters in play so that I don't get owned by Lady Tremaine. Unfortunately, Maleficent Dragon is going to be pretty good here. But if that's what they have, we get to keep playing at the very least. Get 1 more lore. We can protect it with this LeFou. We'd love some card draw. We'd love a spell book. I think we're still pretty favored here, even if they have Maleficent Dragon. Right on cue. Pretty happy to start by drawing 2 here. I don't think 2 Mauis are going to be necessary. So let's ink 1. And then I'm going to put LeFou in play to protect my LeFou. So these are obviously lethal, so they still have to do something. There are plenty of options. Teeth and Ambitions buys them a turn. Lady Tremaine buys them a turn, but we're so close at this point, we just don't want to walk every single resource we have into a single Be Prepared. Or Scarf, for that matter. All right, yeah, I think, this is, even if I end up losing this, I think this is a very instructive game on how to play around Be Prepared. I mean, my opponents played 2 of them, and I think I'm, still cleanly winning. All right, let's draw 2. Happy to play a Minnie Mouse, which is lethal. And pass. Lady Tremaine would be unfortunate. Let it go. Not so bad. Certainly very beatable. And if they had a better answer, they would have played it. Ooh, Mulan. Whenever this character banishes another character. Okay, yeah. I am not familiar with Mulan in this deck, but fair enough. I think what I want to do is just put 2 characters in play. And the best way to do that is like this. Again, at this point, Maui, a lot of its value is lost. I mean, I just want characters that can quest. And still, anytime we draw a spell book, I mean, we've almost gone through half of our deck. We have 2 of them. The moment we draw a spell book, this game basically ends. Or a Goat Merlin will do it as well. All right, yeah, I think that was a very instructive game. Definitely going to put that one in the video. Okay, I think I'm going to cut the video there before it gets too long. But yeah, I think this deck is really, really strong. It's really well positioned now, especially if you expect to play against a lot of other Ruby Amethyst decks. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. And thank you.